So we're going to get started with our movement set for the inner child, and we're going to start, surprise, surprise, on our backs, like most babies do. Starting on our back, and when you get there, just taking a couple nice deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Using the exhale to connect with our core by knitting the abdominal muscles together and drawing them up towards the crown. Awesome. And then we're just going to start pedaling our legs like babies do. Babies spend a lot of time on their backs, months and months actually, before they flip over or do anything else. And although it might look like they're not doing anything, they're actually building a ton of core strength. And you will see if you do this movement for a bit of time how it engages the core. And keeping with our spirit of play, you can pause or speed up. Just checking in with what you need in this moment. And if we're bringing our legs further down, closer towards the floor, you're going to notice that the core needs to be more engaged to protect the lower back, to lift those legs off the floor. So just making sure that you're knitting the abdominal muscles together, engaging that deep pelvic floor muscle, the muscle that stops the flow of urine, drawing that muscle in and up. And of course, pausing at any moment if you're experiencing discomfort in your lower back. But we're going to keep pedaling for about 30 seconds, up to 3 minutes. And always making sure we're breathing long and deep in and out through the nose. Relaxing the jaw, the head and neck. Often when we come into core work, we have the tendency to try and do the work with our face. So seeing if you can relax, smile, relax the jaw. Awesome. So you're going to do that for 30 seconds up to 3 minutes. And then as a restorative posture, of course, coming into baby pose. And here I like to press my feet into my hands into my feet. So keeping quite a lot of engagement through the legs to find deeper flexion in the hips. And you can even try bringing your foot to your mouth like babies do. And from here we'll leave the right foot in our hand, lengthening the left leg. You see babies do this sometimes too, just bringing one leg up. And the tendency here is going to be to try and possibly flip to this side just from the weight of the leg. But we're going to use the strength of this side to lengthen the left leg down and keep this leg, the right leg, drawing in towards the midline. Noticing how the hips can actually move independently of one another, so we can have the left side tilting down towards the foot and the right up towards the head. Finding more flexion in this right hip and length through the left thigh. And then at some point you're going to switch. This time lengthening the right leg down. Keeping that leg nice and engaged. Awesome. And then back to our pedaling. And then, of course, at some point, our babies flip over to their tummies. So we're going to explore that again as adults, a little bit of a modified way. So we'll start with our feet planted on the floor, and we're going to experiment pushing into one foot or the other to bring ourselves over to the side. So we'll start by pushing into the right foot, and this action of pushing is going to bring us over to the side and then back, letting the pelvis fall back onto the mat. And just notice how my head is just naturally rolling along the floor. I'm just allowing that movement. It's kind of a nice massage for the head. Pushing into the right foot to initiate that movement. And again on the other side, so pushing into the left foot to initiate that roll over. Some of these movements are very simple. They're not necessarily strength building exercises, but they're getting at some very old developmental patterns, and they're very restorative for the body. Again, using that spirit of curiosity to just feel how this ripples through your body, just the simple action of pushing into the left foot to come onto the side. Another movement that gets us over to our side, so there's the pushing, but there's also reaching through the hands. So now we're going to combine both those actions, so pushing into the right foot again, and reaching with the right hand. And then we'll just trace a nice circle above us, minding the baby toys. So pushing with the right foot, reaching with the right hand to come back. Letting the head roll. And you'll do the same with the other side, pushing into the left foot, reaching with the left hand. I'm just going to scoot down here. Pushing with the left foot. And reaching. Really reaching with that left hand as far as you can, and then tracing a nice big circle, half circle above you to get back. Nice. And then you can experiment with that movement actually turning you. So if you're reaching with the right hand, perhaps you're going to bring the left hand into it too now. And find yourself on your tummy. Again, reaching, pushing with the right foot, reaching with the right hand, reaching with the left hand to come onto our tummy. Just scoot over onto our mat. And then once you're on your tummy, just taking a moment to enjoy. You've worked possibly months of your life just to be able to get onto your tummy. So just really allow yourself to enjoy that feeling. And then again, exploring this aspect of reaching. So we've got our arms and our legs as our limbs, but we also have our head and our tail. Those are limbs as well, extensions from the trunk. So we're going to explore reaching through the head to lift ourselves up. So starting just with your head resting on the floor, you're going to experiment by reaching through the head, lifting up, looking up, and you might come into sort of a cobra position. Reaching through the head, looking up, lifting up, and coming back down. Remember that there should be no pain in your lower back, and one way to help with that is to really focus on lengthening your legs away from your trunk and pressing your pubic bone into the floor. Nice deep breaths. Use your eyes as well to lift up. Nice. And then rest. And then when you're completed your rest, coming into an exploration with all of our limbs off the floor. So you can reach through your arms, through your legs, through your head and your tail. You can bend your legs. You might want to roll up a blanket underneath your pubic bone if you're finding it's too uncomfortable. Just really giving yourself an opportunity to explore here in this world of our tummies. Also add some nice twisting motions. That twisting motion actually is going to what helps us to crawl. And then when you're finished that exploration, pushing up, widening your knees to the edges of the mat and bringing your head down.
What I like to do in child's pose is push into my hands to bring my tailbone closer towards my heels. This is just going to open up more space in your lower back. And alternately, you can claw the mat, drawing your heart forward and down just to find a little more length and release through the heart center. Child's pose is actually one of the easiest inversions you can do. An inversion is just anything where the heart is higher than the head. So there's a lot of benefits to inversions. They're super relaxing, help drain the lymphatic system, and I super recommend doing child's pose for 5 minutes a day if you have the time. It's really restorative and opens up the lower back. So that was our little exploration from our backs to our tummies, and I hope you had fun. That was the goal. I hope you had fun exploring and playing with me. And if you have any questions about developmental movement patterns, about your body, your babe's exploration of their own movement,